Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
What's up, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. Dan Hafner, as always, joining you here. It is Friday, my friends. Finally Friday. Oh, man, I can't remember the date. I think it's the 8th of March today. Holy crap. Thank you all for joining. Let's get after it today. Today's topic is this: decisions from collisions. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. So, wanted to talk about an interesting concept I came upon the other day, actually yesterday, and it is this. I've talked about it before in the show, but the concept of collisions. Collisions are moments of friction. They're moments of basically debate that has a positive outcome, right? You think about like a presidential debate or any kind of debate for a political office. The two or multiple candidates are being posed questions, debating them back and forth, and they're each presenting their particular viewpoint, right? And this can happen in your world with a coworker, a boss, a relationship, whatever it might be. Now, a collision, on the other hand, and how it differs from a debate is that a collision poses a question, and then there are two opposing viewpoints that come together and battle for supremacy. Like one is more valid than the other, right? Like it can't really be a 50-50 split. Like it could be a 51-49 split, it could be a 90-10 split, it could be whatever. And these can happen not only externally between two other people. Like I can say one thing about one thing, and then you can say another thing about that one thing. And we can have two opposing viewpoints, and we can collide with each other. And I present my truth, my viewpoints to you. You present your truth and your viewpoints to me. And we come up with a solution that is, okay, you're 60% right, but I'm 40% right. And this is really the truth between the two opposing viewpoints, right? But these can also be internal. Like if you are willing to collide with yourself over some stories or basically lies that you have told yourself for a long time, the first step is identifying them, which is an entirely different thing. But colliding with yourself and thinking like, is this really what I believe? Is this really what I think? Is this really what I'm capable of? It shakes you. Like it grabs you and it shakes you, and it makes you see things from an entirely different perspective. It makes you like really kind of look back and be like, oh wow, maybe this isn't the truth for me. Maybe this isn't the way things are supposed to be. And it's tough. It's tough to do. But the way you do this is just by asking the deep questions, like just asking yourself some hard questions. And it's I get it. It's hard. I mean, it's a habit I've got myself into over the past several months of just continually doing this all the time, like taking a step back, analyzing a situation, being like, is this really true? Is this really serving me? Is this really something that I'm willing to go forward with? That's a collision. Like that entire process is a collision, right? Because you have a certain belief or truth. Something comes along in your life that collides with that, and it makes you question. And you're like, oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure if what I thought or believed is actually true anymore. Like it's like, oh, well, shit. That's weird. I might have to think about this differently, right? So the ultimate, thing that comes from these collisions are decisions. Just like I said in the title, like eventually you have to decide like which is the more true version, or which change you're going to make or which truth you're going to abide by. Like, you eventually have to come to a decision of, okay, either this viewpoint, this version of the truth is actually true, or this viewpoint and this version of the truth is actually true. So, in a debate, you can sit back and debate things all day. You can say like, well, this is the correct viewpoint, or this is the correct viewpoint, and I believe this and I believe that, and that's great. But like, does it ever? Have you ever seen a political debate result in a decision? You know what I mean? Like it really, they leave the event and it's just like you just kind of yelled back and forth at each other for a while. It's like, okay, like I get it. Like you're forcing other people to collide with their beliefs and make a decision on their part. But that's really that's a whole nother thing, right? Like we're talking about the actual product of a conversation. So a decision will result from a collision, whether it's externally or in yourself. If you're willing to collide with another person about a viewpoint, about a situation, about a wrong that was done to somebody, whatever it might be, that's what's going to result in change. That's what's going to result in decision, where you're going to be like, okay, this is what's going on. This is what happened. And this is how we move forward. This is how we actually make this better or different. And collisions are uncomfortable. They are. They are uncomfortable. They're not desirable. They're not like just something that's all fluff and rainbows, right? But it's just like I talked about yesterday with the calloused mind. Like you have to put that friction in front of you in order to push through it and grow. And collisions are the path to that. It is a great path to that desired outcome that you want and that different decision that you want. Okay. So my challenge / question for you today is this: where in your life do you need to collide with something or someone? Like there's a situation, there's a person, there's a belief pattern, there's a thought in your mind, something that it's bothering you, or it's just persisting. So where is that collision that you need to have happen, whether externally or internally? And when can you actually make that collision happen? What decision do you think could come out of that would change your reality, that would change something about you or the situation? And go have that collision. Go have that collision. I promise you, it's uncomfortable. It's kind of sucky at times, but it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. Okay, so that's going to wrap up today's show and the week's shows as well. As always, thank you all for joining. Dan Hafner signing off the Run Your Day podcast. Go have a collision, either with someone else or yourself. You'll thank yourself, and you'll thank me, hopefully. All right, y'all. Have a great weekend. We will talk to you Monday.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.